Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Well, fuck me sideways. Hold the line! Hold the line! Hold the line! You shall not
Oh no, you did not shoot that green shit at me! I have you now.
Watch the birdie!
Must go faster.
Inconceivable! Say hello to my little friend!
Come out, wherever you are.
Peekaboo!
We've been hit!
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
It's over, Anakin! I'm at the high ground! Don't try it! Armor piercing, loading!
Special delivery!
Target the...
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Gotcha, bitch!
All right, something is right. Thank you, everybody. You know what time it is. I know what time it is. That's right. It's time for Syntext Live. I hope you guys are doing good. I am doing okay because this whole thing decided to mess me up a little bit. It kind of took all my pictures out, so I had to very quick reinstate everything. And as we get going, first off, I have to thank someone who I swear he can fix her as Deathbed Question jumps in with a $10 super icon. Is that must be a super sticker. Writing it down here. Thank you very much. Actually, you got ahead of me on that question because I didn't even get through my intro on this, guys. Stumbled a little bit. All right. What happened is over the past week that, oh, by the way, I forgot to do, damn it. I swear, Deathbed, what's a good one for you? There you go. Ah, that's not even loud. All right. Also, we have a $10 super chat from Erica Wise. I swear, guys, I swear every single freaking time I preset this freaking thing and it doesn't want to work on me. I swear, you got to give it like 2 minutes or 2 seconds. Here we go. All right. Anyways, I got to send out my thanks to everybody for being here, for listening to the stories over the past week. And I do have to give not only a special thanks to everybody who has sent in supers, but also a thanks to the channel members so far. And I appreciate you guys. I only have one level of membership, guys, because I just do not have time to add any of the extras. So thank you guys very much. You will get next shout out at the end of the videos, one of which is coming out tonight. And one of the people who's on that list is also right here, Erica with, oh, you. And I'll write that down. She says, hello, everybody. Hope you all got a good week. I had a kind of a shit week, and I'm actually going to be having a very bad one tomorrow because I unfortunately have to go to a funeral tomorrow. Not that I don't want to go. They're just unfortunate. And you guys remember from last week, so I'm not going to get into it. So, yeah, been a busy week with my brother moving and everything else. Yeah, thanks, Draven. Anyways, guys, just want to let you know I do have a video dropping tonight, and I actually have it right here on my list right there with the names of everybody from last week. You guys get an extra week because I only got one video out this week, and honestly, that's bullshit. Okay, if anybody's a critic of me, it's me, pure and simple. And I just realized that this camera is way too fucking high. I swear. No matter how many times I set this thing up. Of course, actually, my brother was using this thing to do a video conference before. So, yeah, fun stuff. All right. Jumping in. And again, I want to thank the members. Once again, here you guys are. I'm sure everybody can see. Demon, Douglas, Chris, Erica, and Draven. Thank you very much. And if anybody else wants to become a member, I greatly appreciate it. You will get your yell out, but it's going to be, I would like to thank my channel members at the end. If you want an actual shout out, regardless of how much you throw in, guys, you know how it works. All right. I'm just going to jump into Get Some. All right. You guys have been enjoying this. And before I get some of this story, I am going to get some of my apple juice made by a gentleman. I think his name is Jack. And I'm going to actually add something because you, hold on, let me remove that for a second. Something from you bad motherfuckers right there. As I top that sucker off, because let's face it, I need it to last for the entire stream. And you guys tend to be latched on pretty good for the entire stream. All right, when it comes to Get Some, as you know, guys. Oh, Chris, yes, I did get the email. I just got pulled off because I'm looking right at the chat box because I'm trying to set it up because that light up there, I didn't pull it out. As you can see, everything's kind of twisted. Anyways, I hope you guys are enjoying the Get Some because a few of you were like, whoa, that shit got spicy. Yes, it did. You notice Get Some has very many different ways of saying that. So, yeah, I hope the goofy names have been doing well for you guys, you know, with the Limp 1 station and how it got as a hard target and all that fun stuff. And you know how the loose system, you know, loose 1, loose 2 with the shipyards in between. I hope that worked out pretty well for you guys. Don't worry. More names are coming. Hold on. On that. So, anyways, let me move that because I can't reach my goddamn buttons if that's in the way. All right. I'm not going to ruin the surprise for you guys. But there is more on the way. And just so you know that the ones that are about to show up come from one of you guys. Actually, our wonderful, he's probably, I don't know if he's listening tonight, but you know, Steve, if he's out there, he knows what's coming. He's waiting. I guarantee for him, it's like chewing on rubber. Like he's waiting for that. Anyways, that's enough of the teasing for me. I'm actually glad that somebody looked at the names and realized they weren't just dirty double entendre. Like the Limp Station was was 1 of 9, and their next target is 7 of 9, which is a hat tip to a woman who is far too good of an actress to be on that shit show. I hate the fact that I watched Voyager as a kid, and looking at it now, I'm like, what the fuck? Why? Because it was there. That's all I can say, because it was there. Yeah, Erica, you can actually take advantage for that one. Anyways. Damn, I wrote these too fast, and guards up here saying, new member, just became a YouTube member. Thank you very much, guard. Very much appreciate it. I'm actually going to tack you on an extra week just for the hell of it. Yeah, 7 of 9 was hot there, Draven. And yeah, a few people got it. I only saw one person in the comment section actually mention it. Now, are you guys... Holy shit, guard, what the... Wow, dude, thank you. Do I have a... Now I really wish I had the effects still before this thing deleted them off, and I would give you the cheering thing. Damn, do I have any... I don't think I have anything good. Nope, that one won't... God damn it, I don't have any good ones. All I can say looking at this, though, is...
What? What the fuck?
And he did. Thank you very much, guard. I've got to put yours on here, too. I'm sure there you are. Actually, tack on that one. That's awesome, guard. That very much helps me out. Saying I have not the slightest goddamn clue what memberships are, but hold on. But I'm guessing it's something that'll probably boost your account, so consider that a super chat. Yeah. For you guys that don't know the memberships, again, I only have one level. I dropped it down to $2, which was a recommendation by you guys, and that goes for the entire month. I believe you have to be a premium member to get on those. So is what it is. So back to the get some. I just want to ask you guys now, the story going back and forth between the fleet and Jacob was, I need to know if that was losing anybody. I know a lot of people are saying it was good. I just want to know, did it lose you? Did it make you be like, what the fuck? Stick with one and go for it. And if I don't see any responses, I'm just going to assume that was good. So, one of the key things on this is just remember, every single action that's here has a consequence. Keep that in mind. Very important. And I need to raise this thing up. Where's that lever? God damn it. Here we go. All right. Sorry, guys. I hit the lever and it dropped next to me here. Now my shoulder is right in Cammy's asshole. All right. Or right up the crack, you know, hey. Ding, 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 ding. Anyways. Also, consequences. Just remember, when somebody says actions have consequences, are they negative consequences? Are they positive consequences? That's a thinker. Now, a lot of this is going to be answered tonight. Just remember, members, I set it up, or actually, I need you guys to do something for me. Those of you signed up as members, let me know if you get the access to the video before midnight Eastern Standard Time. I set it up that way. I just want to make sure the damn thing's working. So I appreciate you guys. Let me know in the comment section when that drops. If it either didn't come out in time, because then I got to go and I got to fix something. Because that's pretty much the only thing I can do right now for the membership. All right. That was pretty much all there was for Get Some. Even though, let's face it, Jacob was definitely getting some over and over and over and over again. You got to remember they're enhanced too. And when humans do enhance themselves like that, you got to remember that the desire, we'll just call that desire instead of lust, is going to be so freaking strong. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And you're going to find that at that point, just random, where's a good, just random.
Giggity giggity, giggity goo. Stick around.
Is going to be just common. I actually seen somebody, he was somebody who used to actually help me when I first started out. He now got pulled into more adult comics, and he actually wrote about this, and he thinks the whole premise is ridiculous, but I'm like, dude, that's biology. You call it ridiculous all you want. It's fucking biology. All right. The next thing we're going to be going over. Oh, wait, hold on. I got videos. That's right. I got videos you guys sent me. Some are here. Some are there. Some are, where the fuck did I put them? Oh, yeah. I'm trying to do these in order, but this one came in. I think it got chopped a little. Let me know.
What in the secured, contained, protected box?
Okay. That one actually worked. The other ones that were sent in, well, when it came to you guys taking out aircraft, I had to go in and adjust the audio. Everything came in whisper fucking quiet. So this is as high as I can crank it, guys. Let me know if you can't hear it. Here's the first one. You know, as I was going through, I was reading some of these about every action as an opposite reaction. No, that's actually when they first wrote that, they were wrong. They were talking about something specific when they said equal and opposite reaction. Every action causes an equal reaction. Yes. Does it have to be opposite? No. And by the way, when I saw the Maury Povich, I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? And then I said, you are not the father. You know, that's it. It hit me there after like maybe 30 seconds. I was like, son of a bitch. All right. Anyway, on to the second channel, guys. This one is just barely catching on. Everything is set up for the rest of the week. They will be dropping at noon Eastern Standard Time instead of midnight. However, those of you who've been watching this, I need to know, what do I need to improve? Okay. And by the way, the only thing that takes a long time is the editing. The actual gameplay is fairly quick. Regardless, I saw a bunch of other people do something similar, and they're getting 50, 60,000 views, and I got like 6. So you guys got to let me know what I need to do. I will say this, though. I will be changing some of it, and they're going to be a lot shorter. Unless I'm talking about actual tactics, I'm just going to be talking about the game itself, and it's going to be a whole lot shorter. The actual unedited videos come out to about, well, the first one was almost 2 hours. All the rest are roughly an hour and 5 to an hour and 30 minutes. So that's why they're chopped down as much as they are. However, and oh, you wanted a link to the channel. God dang it. I had the link to the channel here. Give me a second, guys. Let me see if I can't get this really fast. Let me. Okay. Hopefully let's hope I don't drop the stream doing this, guys. Let me just grab, let's see, go in here and. All right, I'm going to grab the very first episode. Again, the very first episode, even chopped down, is pretty long at 1 hour and 18 minutes. And okay, am I still on? Yes, we're on. All right. It should be coming up in a second. All right. That should lead to the first video. And again, if you guys can just give me just honest opinions, you're not going to hurt my feelings because I've never done a gaming thing before. So yeah. In any case, like I said, they're going to be short. So anybody who just wants a quick tactical video, that's what they're going to turn into. Just straight up, hey, this mission was here. Did I have anything tactical? No. If not, here's what we got in salvage, and we're going to drive on. That way we can get actually to the story, because you guys wanted the story. And thank you, War Sniper. And we can get to the story quicker. Okay? Because honestly, the way I'm doing it, yeah, by tactically through the game is the smartest thing, but it's also the slow way. So it is what it is. All right. I talked about that, shortening the video, and any advice. Okay. We're going to be leaving Sin Tactics, and we're going to be moving on to video games. So first, we're going to watch one more video right here.
Ziel beschädigt! Ziel zerstört!
Just keep it up, and victory will be ours.
Now, I find it very interesting that almost everything that was sent to me was you guys hating planes. It makes me worry if I became the main character in my Transformer story. Don't forget, he was transmutated, so to speak, into a aerial bot, if you want to call it that, or a seeker, whatever the hell. So yeah, with you guys around, I'd be afraid to take it to the skies. You'd shove a missile up my... Once you... No, actually, better yet, as soon as I got in the air, you guys would be on the ground, and I would be yelling... It's a trap! Yeah. And as you fire, you're screaming... Gotcha, bitch! And then I'd be totally screwed. All right. Going on to the video games, guys, it's bad news again. It is just bad news, at least right now, because they actually wokeified, pussified Wolverine. I'm not even kidding. They turned him into some sort of low-T, girly boy, however you want to put it, just skinny. There's nothing to him. And I'm just like, what in the ever-loving fuck bubbles? It just, it hurt my brain. It really did. So, yeah, it's bad that I think they got sweet babied. I think that's what happened. Now, Warhammer is trying to fight them. And I hope they win, but they're catching a lot of shit because they're grabbing at everything. Okay, everybody knows these Space Marines are supposed to be the most... They're actually born to be Space Marines. They're genetically altered before they're born. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. But they're actually set up to be that. And the indoctrination is from the time they slide out of someone's hairy ass. And because of that, they are killing machines. But now, of course, certain people want to wokeify him, pussify him, and all that other bullshit. And I'm like, okay, let me know where I was wrong on that one, Chris. Regardless, the woke crowd is grabbing at straws. They're literally going after one of the writers or creators or whoever the hell it is and saying, oh, look, this guy likes to frequent strip clubs or something like that. And saying, oh, look, toxic masculinity. They can seriously kiss my ass. It's irritating, guys. It's irritating to watch something that's been going on. They tried to wokeify BattleTech, and they almost they kind of succeeded. You guys, when you watch those, you're going to see how much I despise what they did with the storyline. Don't worry, I'll be getting into it later and how it got even worse. You got to remember, this came out, I believe it was 2019 or something like that, right in the peak of the wokeness. You know, it's an older game. However, it still holds up. Anyways, I do find it interesting that the folks going after the creators of Warhammer are trying to shame them into actually changing. Yet these people that are trying to shame this dude have no shame of their own. They will walk down the road with something literally hanging out their butthole. It blows the mind. Just like it blows the ass. Anyways, yeah, it's just crazy. And it's true that this woke stuff, it just fails. I mean, Heretic Prophet is just a total collapse. Of course, they're blaming everybody else. And I'm like, look, your main character, I can't tell is male or female. And this is based off a real person. So, what? Just, what? So, yeah, it's just, it's crazy, guys, okay? It's so bad, not only do I need a drink of my soda, right? But we're going to be moving on to TVs and movies, so let's blow something else up. All right, since we're going to be going directly into TV and movies, in particular, I believe this is supposed to be a mini series, but my God, it needs to die. Lanterns, not even Green Lanterns, because heaven forbid they talk about a color. It's lanterns, and I haven't even got a chance to watch it. But every single reviewer I know says the same thing. It is woke as all get out. It is absolutely staggering. I actually had a free 10 minutes and I watched Critical Drinkers rip on it. And he's right. Looking at that, and I'm just like, what are they doing? They took Hal Jordan and they made him a depressive drinker without telling everybody why. The thing is, Hal Jordan in the comic books did become a depressant, did freak out, did almost blow up the entire planet because there was a good reason. Somebody broke into his apartment, not only slowly, deliberately killed his fiance, but stuffed her in a refrigerator and then put a note that says that he's got a treat inside or some such crap. Now, a lot of people look at that as like kind of the weirdest thing, like, oh, woman went to shit. It kind of did, because it turned a hero that is quite literally brainwashed and waxed by a piece of alien technology that more or less controls him, suddenly freaking out and losing everything, losing out. The ring shouldn't have allowed him to do what he did afterwards. Should he have screamed? Should he have cried? Should he have gone out for revenge? Yes. Him wigging out and basically turning himself into a Zarbamba? No. No. The ring would not have allowed him to do that. Why? Because the ring is partially sentient. That's why it reacts before anybody else does. But it also controls the wearer. And that's actually very well understood. They won't actually say that straight up. That's why the ring has to choose you, because you're the one that's susceptible to being controlled. Regardless, if they had put that in, that Hal Jordan actually became a loser, a degenerate, a drunkard, or whatever in the hell because of that, they would have actually had a story. But no, they just have to destroy that character so they can bring in his replacement. And I'm like, wait a minute, he's had two replacements. Where's the other one? Oh, that's right. They made him a turbo asshole and fruitier than the day is long. Ugh. And I just remember is Guy Gardner is the one that they totally destroyed. Why? Because he was a character with red hair, and in comics you can't have red hair without them either destroying your character or race swapping your ass. It's just, that's just what they've been doing for 10 years. You don't believe me? There's plenty of examples. Regardless, I'm trying to remember what the name of the other guy was. In the cartoons, he always had his Marine tattoo on his shoulder. But I'm just sitting there like, the guy playing it, even in the reviews, I'm like, dude, it's called a face. It's supposed to emote, show emotion. Don't just be sitting there like a friggin' brick the entire time. And don't say, well, that's part of the training. Bullshit. Bullshit. Out of people that emote the most and let emotions control themselves, trust me, Marines are right at the top of that list. Pretty much tied with Rangers on that. They don't have any, no, they have no limits. They will get pissed off. They will come at you, especially if you hurt their egos. But yeah, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. It looks terrible. It sounds terrible. The visuals are, at least when it comes to the rings visuals on that, it's not so bad. However, they showed in the previews where some alien, whatever, was going to blow himself up. So Hal Jordan used his ring to create a force field bubble and then tried to hold on to it, and that the force bubble failed and threw him across the room. If he's concentrating, that force bubble doesn't break at all. That thing has taken direct shots from Superman at full speed and full strength and barely cracked. So, yeah, I don't believe that for a second. They nerfed a character, and Hal Jordan is supposed to be the pinnacle of the Green Lantern Corps. So, yeah, they fucked that up. Now, on to a movie I was actually looking forward to. And Critical Drinker saved me $20. Actually, I should say $25 and 3 hours, because you got to factor in travel time, waiting for the movie, getting through the previews, and the drive back, along with the movie itself. End of Oak Street. Girl Bosses and Dinos. What? You have one of the biggest name actors that are there, and you're going to turn him into, what, a guy that won't protect his family, refuses to pick up a firearm or some such crap like that, and acts like the goofiest child out there? Just no. I'm sorry, just no. Everything they're doing with that is just no. It makes it so you don't want to see movies anymore. I want to see Run, Hide, Fight. I want to see everybody. You guys all said the first one was great. I refuse to get a subscription to watch it, but I still want to see it. If it ever ends up on YouTube, just like Boss Level, I'm going to actually go see it. And I saw a couple clips from Boss Level, and that looks funny. It's a time loop type thing, and yeah, it looked really good. And the thing is, the guy playing the main character, he was just having fun with it. It's like he knew how stupid it was, and he's like, you know what? Let's do this. All right, that's the end of my notes on that. Let's watch one more video, and then we'll get into the comments.
Beacon reports enemy spotted. Getroffen.
All right, going up here, and I see, let's see, there was the Maury Povich thing. Maybe I should go, okay. Guards up here saying, I don't know. Oh, that's right. I read that about what memberships are. Yeah, it will boost the account. Guys, I tried to stay away from subscription models for as long as I could. YouTube is burying this channel. I know, because I have people come here for like my brother's business, and they're like, dude, I can't find your channel anymore. I'm subscribed to it. I have to go through like 3 different hoops to actually find it. I'm like, what? So yeah, it is what it is. Where was I? Chris saying he's got to catch up on the videos. Okay. Got the link to the channel there. And yeah, Alan, I did notice you were watching the second channel. So yeah, if you could leave, even if it's a quick one, like, hey, mission 2 was good, or this one, that. And I believe you were the one who were talking about why I didn't back the mechs up a little bit. Actually, I did try, And the fact is, it was just out of range of the medium lasers. I wouldn't have been able to use them. That's why I kept pushing forward. But I appreciate you checking and subscribing and all that out. War Sniper with finger red number 1. Sorry, hair trigger on that. Let's see. Alan says, whatever fits your timeline on Syntactics. Well, my timeline for actually making those is this. I will end up, and I did this yesterday to make sure everything was set up for the week. I got a coffee maker sitting 10 feet right over there that does 14 cups of coffee. I think I drank like 2/3 of it last night, making sure everything was good. And I had another like 3 cups this morning trying to friggin' keep my brain occupied and up and running. I had to go and, it's Wednesday. Had to go help my dad with a bunch of shit. And there's a whole bunch of stuff going tomorrow. So yeah, it's going to be a fun couple days. Regardless, I'll do all the videos then. I'll do as many of the editing in a row as I can usually get 2. If I'm lucky, 3 of them done in a day, but it takes up my whole day. So I wouldn't be writing, which, again, I'm kind of kicking myself because you guys are fucking awesome. Oh, hold on. Oh, no, I don't have that. I'm just asking how many assholes we got in here right now. Just a few. All right. But you're my kind of assholes. So like I said, I try to get them done as fast as I can. So I'm going to try and focus on as much of the writing as I can. I got 1 or 2 more chapters to go on, get some, and then we got to move on to something familiar. And the moment I'm able to actually get a vehicle, in particular a truck, to get the dry erase, it's the plexiglass, so I can put the dry erase board on the back, I'll actually move the green screen, and you guys will see all my notes. It's going to be covered in them. So yeah. Anyway, that timeline is all over the place. War Sniper saying, when you're being chased, we lag our missiles to get the enemy bot after you. Okay. I think I'm reading that wrong, but okay. Now, Chris saying I'm wrong. He says the Space Marines, they are volunteers who get selected after a trial, sometimes literally by fire. Woo! Better put them out. If they survive, they begin the process to get gene seed, in other words, gene therapy, extra organs, and modified. I'm guessing more muscle. Most die, just like when they did with the Spartans in the Halo series. A lot of people don't realize that the majority of their losses came from the augmentation. And a lot of them, they don't ever say this, but if their body got all twisted, it wouldn't matter if they have a wonderful mind. They were taken out and taken out. And it's just the way they go. So anyway, I need to scroll down really quick. Oh, shit. What the? Here we go. We got a $20 super chat from the SSD. I think one snuck in here. It says, hi, hope all are well. Been enjoying Saga of Tanya the Evil. Oh, there is a season 2. Okay, people don't seem to understand it, and I'm tired of idiots trying to take over what I love. Not everything you dislike or not understand is Gunner or Ped. I never said everything is Gunner or Ped. I just say that if it's something I don't like, it's something I don't like. But thank you very much. And the thing is, I actually enjoyed Tanya the Evil. What I don't like is when somebody is given a position, a role that they didn't, it's never justified, and they become either a Gary Stu or a Mary Sue. Just like a lot of the last season or 2 of Star Trek Next Generation, a lot of people, just like myself, because that Wesley Crusher character is in there, it takes all the fun out of it. Okay, don't get me wrong, the Next Generation is like the pinnacle of what Trek was supposed to be. What the fuck just happened? Okay, looks like we dipped out for a second. Anyway, I'm just saying that the actors did an amazing job. Some of them were okay. Others, or I should say the rest, were excellent. And I'm not much of a Trek fan, so it is what it is. And we got the Guardian Sage.
May the Schwartz be with you.
With a $10 super chat, as he says, "Greeting mortals and other assorted beings. Sorry for being late. Almost forgot about the live stream tonight." Oh, he forgot about us, man. Oh, it's so painful. It hurts. And but it's good, man. It's all good. As you're here, it's all that fucking matters, right? All right. We also had Demon gifting a 5 membership on that. So I don't know how to put this at 10. Okay. And thank you very much, Demon. Very much appreciated. You guys know that, or just so you guys know, for the actual shout out in particular, like Demon, Guardian, and everybody else who's put in tonight, that's when you get your name read. Through memberships, I'm just going to say thank you, memberships. I'm going to put everybody up there because eventually that list is going to begin way, way too long. At least I hope so. All right. We also have another $10 super chat from the Guardian Sage. He says, "Okay, so I found out that memberships do exactly nothing for super chat, which I call bullshit on. God, YouTube can't do anything right. No. Now, as far as the memberships, it's on my end to try and set them up and try to do extras. The only thing I can do right now, and this is one of the reasons why I was fighting subscription, which is what the memberships are. The reason I fought that so much is because the only thing I can do is give members the ability to see the stories first. You guys get them before anybody else does. So that's unfortunately the best I got. Right now, that is the best I got. I honestly, one of the things I wish I could do, guys, was get that Assault Squad 2 working correctly. I still can't get it to work right. So that you guys could actually go through the Discord. Is still giving me problems. And choose your choose your destiny. Choose which color you want and actually have your teams and argue amongst yourselves how you want to actually move. And then the armies would actually go after each other. However, again, for some reason, even though I can get 90% of it to work right, I can't get the whole thing to actually function correctly. And it's just, And of course, we got Skip here with a $10 super chat. And he says, "I tried to send you a message and was blocked." Really? "I will send an email later or instead later." Okay. Look forward to it. And just a reminder, guys, because I haven't been able to get out too many videos over the week. In fact, I barely got any. I'm giving everybody an extra week. So I said that in the beginning and I'm going to say it now. All right. Oh, Erica. So would you slap some guy who was hitting on you? Is that why you hurt your hand? Psh. You pull a Zsa Zsa Gabor and slap a cop? Do you know who I am? Wham. Oh, shit. And of course, Skip with
all hands to battle stations.
And did I do guard? Did I do yours, Mr.
For the Emperor!
I know I did demon. I got guardian. Hopefully I got everybody. All right, I'm going to scroll back up here to where was I? Okay, I was over here with Chris and he was informing me about Warhammer 40K. This is why I don't do Warhammer. Versed enough and I don't have the time to sit down for several days and go through all this. Chris says their volunteers got selected after. Oh yeah, I read it, that, and he can. Guard says I heard Henry Cavill got a big win for the Warhammer TV series, and if I heard correctly, pretty much won complete control on over the entire show. I heard he was fighting for it. I didn't hear anything that he actually got creative control, because that man, when it comes to things he enjoys, he does not even think about skimping on anything. He's like, you either do it right or you fuck the hell off. No middle ground. And if they end up with a little bit of
Emotional damage.
for him actually trying to do it right, then fuck him up the ass with a telephone pole covered in concertina wire. Oh, wait, that's only their Thursday night. They might enjoy that. Whatever. He continues with, like, can pick and choose who does acting, who doesn't, what can be greenlit, what can't be, and a bunch of other stuff. Oh, yeah, and with the whole Space Marine thing, it's not a birth, but they are indoctrinated pretty damn young, like between the ages of 6 and 10. So, actually, is that true, Chris? Because you were saying they're selected by a trial. So, is it actually that young? Because that's straight out of the Halo books, by the way. Let's see. Guards also says, and yeah, I kind of understand the whole making them human, because we know, we have groups like the Salamanders and the Lamenters and the Blood Angels and a handful of others I can't remember. They are still humanized. They still care. They still have emotions. They aren't these Stonewall soldiers like most others, or douchebags like them. Marines, malevolent. He continues with, oh boys, the Marines malevolent. It's in the name itself. They are borderline evil. Actually, they kind of are. Salamanders had a field day beating them. Probably with a stick while they slept. You stay down there, you son of a bitch. You know? The only thing I know about the Salamanders is when they go through their augmentation, they get a strange look to them. Like the strange eye pigmentation, strange skin pigmentation, and they lose all their hair. That's the only thing I know about the Salamanders. Okay, Douglas saying, I was curious how our tech would fare against Battletech technology. I wrote an entire series on that. It's actually on the channel. It's one of the first series I ever did. It's something I wrote back in like 2008 or something like that. Actually, the original writing was back, I believe, 1998. I rewrote it when I joined the Army, and that was before drone warfare became a thing and all that. How the Battletech technology would fare against our technology, or how would our technology fare? Decent, not great, but decent. I actually did a small breakdown originally on my Crazy Uncle channel on would mechs work in the battlefield. The answer was yes. However, they have a specific purpose. Mechs are for taking very large pieces of land away from the enemy. They're meant to bulwark through and just fuck everybody up. Their armor is designed specifically to take the hits from tank shells and just keep running, which is why when it comes to our tech now against them, unless we knew something about them, we wouldn't realize that to stall a mech out, we need to hit them with napalm or something like that, which is basically what an Inferno missile is. And hopefully sometime during the game I'm playing, we'll get Inferno missiles, and I'm going to just load up an LRM carrier with Infernos, and you guys going to see how fast that shuts a mech down. It is actually excessively quick. If you get a good hit, done. And next thing you know, they're shut down. They're very easy to kill, like exceptionally so. And if they're shut down, you can target the head or the cockpit, and you can kill the meat, save the metal. All right. I better bring this over a little more. All right. Now, to make this real simple, as far as the technology goes, I'm going to start from the ground and as baseline as I can, all the way to space. All right. On the ground, their infantry and our infantry are pretty evenly matched. I mean, with the exception of their energy weapons, again, very evenly matched. However, we would have home field advantage, which is a lot. When it comes to armor, their armor and ours right now is fairly close when it comes to something like a demolisher. However, when you or not a demolisher, god damn it. I just had a brain fart, guys. I think the drinks are kicking in. Anyway, their smaller tanks or their small tanks are basically the same as our Abrams. So take that as it is. And then they work up to a double turreted tank or double barreled turreted tank, which is actually so large it can actually run down light mechs. That's how big this thing is. It's quite literally a land battleship. So there's on the ground. However, each of these things is still going to need maintenance. The crew is going to need rest. They're going to need fuel and food, which means they are still subject to, if somebody can get them out, they're also still subject to damaging the tracks. They do have hover tanks. They do have hover PPC or APCs. Those cannot handle a lot of our topography. They cannot handle rock or jagged rock of any type. They cannot handle steep terrain, not very well. They cannot handle wooded terrain at all. You know, if they're out in the open, those hovercraft are just devastating. However, again, with us, home field advantage. Any type of wheeled vehicle is just going to quite literally run rings around them. Once you get up into mechs, again, we would need to be able to find their weaknesses. We do not have much that can actually face off against them and win easily. However, I will say this. If you put BattleTech versus Star Wars, the scales actually, I'm laughing because it's so funny. The scales tip even worse. Whoever is facing against or for the Star Wars universe compared to ours, because their machines are more for scaring the shit out of you than actually doing a job. Battle mechs are designed specifically to do a job, which is to kill something very quick and very painfully. So, we don't have anything on the ground. However, where we are above everybody else is sort of on our. We're actually pretty close when it comes to artillery. They have better, or BattleTech has better artillery. We just have more of it. And let's face it, some of these guys, when they call in for fire, they are very, very good. But when it comes to the air, BattleTech loves to use aerospace fighters. In other words, a type of fighter craft that is able to fly in space and within the atmosphere. In order to do that, that aircraft is going to be very, very heavy because of the extra components, because of the extra engines, because of the extra fuel you got to put in it, and everything else is going to be very, very heavy, which means it's not going to be very mobile. It is going to be solely reliant on its missile system. The fact of the matter is, if their sensors cannot pick up an F-22 or F-35, the skies would be clear in hours. It wouldn't even be close. And then you start sending something like a fully loaded Gripen or a F-15E or EX or whatever the hell you want to call it in fully loaded. They're just going to start hammering the piss out of everybody. You only take so many hits before a machine fails. It's just the way it works. Now, as far as the dropships, there's only one thing you can do. You gotta nuke them. We don't have, especially when it comes to something like an Overlord dropship, those things are just gigantic. Okay, it's not even close. We could literally throw every single one of our God damn, I just had a brain fart. Our glide bombs. I wanted to call them by the actual name, but I can't think of it right now. We could throw every single one of those. The thing would look at you and go, is that it? Come on, bring the real stuff. Our actual armor piercing ordnance, that might work. But honestly, all they have to do to get a drop ship to cause problems, especially when it comes to a standard Rothgar drop ship, which is the big sphere, is get above you, turn on that fusion torch, and everything below you turns to glass. And as far as in the atmosphere, the only thing we have is things like Pegasus missiles. Nasty things, but not a lot of them. And they don't cause all that much. So, sorry for that long rant, guys. I went down the freaking rabbit hole. Way down the rabbit hole. Oh, shit, I'm falling down. Ah! Let me get back to the super chats here. Guard with, I can't remember which book it was. Hold on. But the Marines Malevolent used a refugee camp that was being overrun with orcs as a target for them to aim at with mortar fire while the salamanders were on planet. Ugh. That sucks. Hold on. Sorry, this and stuff down here was... what the fuck is going on here? Sorry, guys. It's give me a sec. Oh my god. Thank you, StreamYard, for being a dick. Oh man. All right. Let me answer the phone. Sorry, guys. Let's this better be important. Yes. I don't know, guys. Must be a robocall. By the way, if you get anybody who answers the phone and they sound like they're Apu from The Simpsons, just tell them to delete themselves. It's a giant insult in the language. And yeah, just make sure you hang up the phone because I did it earlier and that dude was freaking the fuck out. All right. I'm going to actually scroll down, guys. I don't want to get caught too much. War Sniper says, Sin, reminder, you told me to remind you of the USA exercise that went horribly wrong video I sent to you on Discord. Why is my brain completely... I know I looked at it. Why is my brain completely friggin' toast? Hold on. Let me see if I can't pull this up real quick. Where's Discord? All right. And... let's see, I'll see, I remember seeing this. Why am... I swear that this... video not available. God, I feel like an asshole. I swear, I did watch it. I swear to God, I did watch it where everything kind of, as they say, blows in a good way or in a bad way or whatever. But it's just, for some reason, I didn't write it down. I should have wrote it down. And right now, my head is swimming. Okay, what the fuck is going on? Ah, my God. Okay, for some reason, everything just got scrambled on this end. I'm trying to remember. All right, War Sniper, I did see the video, and for some reason, I totally miffed on it. I looked at it, and I'm kicking myself. I swear I'm actually using my feet, not my hands, as I'm kicking myself. But yeah, I totally screwed up on that. Let's see. Guard says, and oh boy, the Salamander chapter master took a great pleasure beating the absolute dog shit out of the Marines Malevolent chapter master. I would say so. After their guys got fired on. I mean, that's pretty much what happened with us. I can think of when I was deployed and the only accurate indirect fire that came down was ours. Because some dipshit in the scouts was like, hey, there's people over there. Let's not call anything in and ask if we have friendlies in the area. Let's just drop artillery on them. Dicks. I was pulling thorns out of my back for a week because I dove into a hole and I didn't even care what was in it. I'm just glad there wasn't a landmine. Draven's up here. If membership gets your channel seen, by all means, go for it. I'm okay with membership dues. Yeah, I just don't like subscription model. That's just that's a me thing, guys. I hate subscription model because I don't want to have to sit here and demand that you pay. If I went and I, like, back in the day before Blockbuster, we had a place called Video Visions. You only paid when you rented the video, not per month like Blockbuster did. And Blockbuster can kiss the darkest part of my ass for doing that. Let's see. Guard says, and the Salamander's second in command went after the Marines' malevolent second in command by having a power hammer at an inch away from his head and pretty much saying, "Don't pick up your gauntlets." I'd say so. And Guard says, but I'm getting off topic. The Warhammer stuff, what all the Wookiees are trying to do with Warhammer pretty much won't work in the long run because some of the factories are older than they are. Some of the factions were written by people who have done more for the community than they will ever do in their entire lives. Yes, absolutely. They may get a few wins here and there, but long-standing, they're losing. Yeah, you're right. Unfortunately, we can't say the same thing about Halo because Halo Studios got a hold of it and then just filled all their ranks with people that hate Halo for some strange ass reason. And I'm still pissed at that. I mean, I don't even want to play the old games. And I just saw something come up here. All right. Guardian says he's a new member. Thank you very much, Guardian. Let me actually throw an extra week on here for you. And my little scribble notes here. Thank you very much, Guardian.
May the sports be with you.
Let's see. Trying to find out where I was. Douglas says, I start my day off with a 12-cup pot made with 3 scoops of grounds. Yeah, that's what this one takes is 3 scoops. But I have to go get special filters for it. The old school filters, the ones that kind of look like a blooming flower or something like that, can't use them. You got to use a triangular ones. I guess that's the new thing. But right now it's sitting there with full on water, just waiting for the grounds to go in and press a button. All right. Guard says, I start my day with literally nothing. I wake up, I chug some water right out of the faucet, and I take care of the animals. Take a quick rinse off shower and go to work. That's my mornings. Yeah. If I was working a 9 to 5, that would be mine. Just about. The only thing is I'm so used to waking up and doing some sort of exercise during the day that if it wasn't for the fact that I'm out taking care of the animals, then we just got chickens right now. Then the first thing I would be doing is doing some squats and push-ups and stuff like that. I still do them every day, just not then. Hell, I did them maybe an hour before we came on. But yeah, this not everybody eats breakfast, but unfortunately, too many of us got addicted to coffee. And yeah, I can thank recruiting for that. It's friggin' sucked. And let's see. Demon says, what was he talking? Says talking about modern audiences. Okay. Let's see. Guard says, just remember, none of these clips are mine. I don't have an Xbox for almost a whole week while I was waiting for the new one to arrive in the mail. So yay. Well, speaking of which, I might as well throw on one more video here. I think we saw that one. I think we're over here now.
Attention to the designated grid zone. Never.
Team touchdown.
All right, going back up here with Gar, it says, just got it in yesterday. Hold on. He says dramatic word. But by the time I got it set up and everything, none of the videos would have made it. Okay. By the way, guys, it's not just tonight. When I cleared out my brother's house, I was greeted by the ghosts of, or I should say the spirits of bad decisions. So yeah, this what's going down the hatch now is not only not the only bad decision in the house. I will say though, most of that stuff is only like barely full. That Frangelico that's right there, if you guys haven't had that, it goes great on ice cream, but there's no ass to it. Okay, pure and simple, there's no kick. But that again, it tastes like hazelnuts. That's what that tastes like. I got this actually in Italy. So yeah, I think you can now find it here in the US. They finally brought it. So anyway, Demon says they keep attacking the anime industry. Yes, they do. They have already taken music, movies, and video games. Leave my anime alone. Yeah, anime is one of the few places where they still censor coming across this side of the pond, but they don't get it all. They try. God help them, they try. They just don't. And thankfully, they don't get it all. They do get some. And unfortunately, like when you watch Vampire Bund, I still remember watching it. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Wasn't there something here? Like the girl's taking a bath and the main character walks past and she's like, oh, you don't freak out seeing me like this anymore? He's like, you just do this all the time to freak me out. And I'm like, this is the first time I'm seeing it. What the hell? And she literally, in her base form, looks like a 12-year-old girl. And yeah, that's supposed to be what makes him uncomfortable. It's supposed to be jokes. But when they brought it on this side, and which company it was, they took it and they butchered the piss out of it. So all the actual inside jokes were completely lost. It made it so I didn't watch the movie. I'm like, you know what? That was $20 down the drain. I friggin' chucked the disc. I didn't want to watch it. Chris up here saying, I hated the character Wesley Crusher so much I refused to watch The Big Bang Theory. Now, I will say he is in so little of The Big Bang Theory that you can actually enjoy that. And the fact that he gets a little bit slapped, you know, how do I say, the guy who plays it thought he was big man, and well,
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
I think he knows that he was just hated. Absolutely hated. To this day, people actually spit on him because they hate his character so much. Alan asked me if I'm dropping out. I don't think so. You guys, let me know if I keep dropping out, because on this side it flickered once and that was it. If it keeps flickering, I might have to end the stream quick. Erica's up here saying, I did something to my hand. Typing is limited. Like I said, old Jaja. Whacking. She said, hit my hand on a doorknob. Now, I kind of did that. Actually, was this hand when I was a little kid. I was actually reaching for the latrine door, and somebody came. Fuck. What the hell, man? It blipped again. Are you guys is it going out on you guys' end? You guys got to let me know, because that's it keeps blipping on me. I don't know what the hell's going on. I just saw it happen again. That's weird. I really don't want to sit here and do the
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
because that would just suck. I mean, anybody that's blipping on and cutting off is just screaming,
God f***ing damn it!
But, you know, StreamYards ain't exactly what it used to be. It used to be like the cream of the crop. Now it's what people use when they get started. I just haven't switched over to anything else. But yeah, as far as hit the hand on the doorknob, Erica, I would tell you what to do, but I wouldn't be telling you anything you don't already know. All right, Guards here says, talking more like the entire gifting memberships to the Super Chat does nothing to add to the Super Chat other than I'm pretty sure boosting everyone's perk levels. I don't even know what the perk levels are. The only perk I know of is what comes out of that coffee maker. Let's see. Chris, okay, he's trying to add everything up. He goes, it depends on the chapter how selection goes. Okay, so it changed. It altered at one point. Okay. They got to be careful on that because if you lose consistency, you lose people in the story. Which is why, now I have a green screen in my way, or else I would reach over for it right now. When I'm writing the Get Some story, I actually have to have the descriptions I wrote in the beginning of the different species. So arms, the lingus, or very short. I'm beginning to hate this thing. The males are they're furry, very, very furry. And the females are almost like completely furless. That's literally how they show dimorphism between the two. At least on the outside. It's kind of weird. I mean, they still have all the craziness going on with certain fat deposits, certain places. And hold on, I gotta go down here. And Skip is saying, hold on.
All hands to battle stations.
They better be. Sin, I think I pissed off the YouTube gods and they're taking their revenge. So sorry, my fault. No, dude, it's not you. It's probably StreamYard's. And not to mention, I just had to update my security on here, the VPN and everything like that. I'm sure right now YouTube hates VPNs. They always hate VPNs because they got to know. They're like Amazon. They got to know exactly where you are, what you're doing at all times, every single time of every single day. And they can kiss my fucking ass on that one. So let me scroll back up here. Thank you again, Skip, on that one. Wow, there's a lot of stuff coming in from Garden them. Where was I? See, Chris was here. He says, oh no, I did talk about that one. Gart says, like the fact that Amazon straight up admitted that they pay GW into making the female custodian. Oh God, they actually did. Just so Henry would be forced to put them in, only for him to call them non-canon. And rightfully so. He knows the power he wields. Everybody, you don't fuck with Superman. Okay? Pure and simple. And you know what? He's going to stand there and take the hits because the motherfucker is bulletproof. You know, even if he wears the mask of the freaking of the Space Marine, he should know that behind that mask is more than flesh. It's an idea, and ideas are bulletproof. Oh, see, Chris says salamanders are the nice ones who also love flamethrowers. Oh, man, really? Oh, Jesus. Spaceballs the flamethrower. Kids love these. All right, Guards up here saying, I mean, most people of the salamander homeworld are already borderline light turned off in the room, kind of dark. But once they become space marines, it's charcoal dark with glowing eyes. I did notice that in the cinematic I watched a few months back. And and then I watched another one, and when they, like, two of them took their helmets off, again, it's that dark, kind of ashy, as no other way to put it. He continues with sometimes just genetically inherited by the gene father, Vulcan, who was charcoal black, had glowing red eyes, and canonically bald as fuck, like grindstone bald, like Avatar bald. Got it. I'm talking the original Avatar, not the blue Smurfy cats. Demons up here says, well, I have to go. Sadly, miss you guys. Take care, everybody. Also, just to start crap, the Armored Core universe is OP. Ha 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 ha. Also, Sin, if you are interested, I will buy you Ruse, a World War II RTS game. Not right now. Let me get through BattleTech, and I gotta do a thing, like a 2 or 3 video on Army Man, and because that's what's next after that. There's no actual story on that, so I'm just gonna go over the different ones and how to tactically beat them. And that's it. Honestly, the Army Men games, they've set up too many maps that are quite literally auto regeneration, and they just never end. And you're literally just holding the line for what? So it's no. If there's no beginning, middle, and end, then what's the fucking point? All right, Guard says, actually, I'm pretty sure one of his brothers made a joke about that. Pretty sure it was Lamin Ross or maybe Fulgrim. Can't remember. I can't pronounce them. So yeah, we're all good. Doug's up here saying, Davin Haas, a goddamn good aerospace fighter called a Corsair, all energy weapons. Hey, I didn't say aerospace fighters are bad. They're just heavy. When they enter an atmosphere, they have the maneuverability of a A-10. It's just, can you win in a dogfight with an A-10? Yes. I've seen plenty of simulations. There are guys online, they put on a bunch of shorts that are only like a minute long. Every once in a while, I'll see them. And they're dogfighting and winning with A-10s. The problem is, an A-10, the only reason it wins is because it's so damn slow. It not only can take a hit like a friggin' champ, but, hold on, I said the right word. But is the fact that it can, because it's so slow, it turns tighter. And it's just the way it goes. And let's face it, who wants to be in front of the nose of that thing when it starts shooting? Guards up here says, to be honest, all the people glazing Ukraine right now because they beat us in a military. Oh, that's what it was. Yes, the military. Thank you for. Okay, thank you. Okay, Guard is right, and you sent it to me. Okay. All the people are freaking out because what happened was they brought a bunch of people from the Ukrainian battlefield. They put them out as the OP4, the opposing force against the U.S. forces, and they allowed the Ukrainians to use their drones to do whatever the hell they were going to do with them, and they started monkey stomping our guys. Our guys, unfortunately, are not well versed in drone warfare. Even before I left, I was preaching about this. I was almost prostrating myself, begging for our guys to get training on it. It's definitely not part of basic training. Basic training is just the basics anyway. However, one thing I did make sure to go over along with every other combat arms guy is you don't want to leave the wood line. The drones, if they're going to come at you, have to enter the wood line. Drones do not handle branches. Okay, they don't. They get caught up. They twist, they turn, they crash, they explode. Okay, so you don't want to be out in the open. Out in the open is where you die. Because they were going against a mechanized unit, these guys were trying to use the open field to their advantage like it was, the 1990s, early 2000s. Like when they were going into Iraq in 2002. They had complete dominance because our Abrams were outpacing the T-34s or T-72s or whatever the fuck else they were facing. Now they're facing a completely different weapon system. And, well, these guys from Ukraine walked up and said, here's your ass. And what I say is this. This is what fucking training is for. So you learn where you're deficient and you fix it. The problem is, I don't think the chain of command gives a shit. As far as they're concerned, we're fucking expendable, like excessively expendable. Especially if you go with a 4th ID. We actually used to joke when I was there. We call ourselves the expendable division because whenever they had to go in and you expected a high amount of casualties and he expected you to not make it, they sent in 4th ID. Hell, they sent in 4th ID as the first one to land in Normandy Beach, the very first unit to land. They caught the most casualties, and they still fought through the Atlantic Wall with the help of the 29th Reserve, which was for the longest time the only reserve unit with a combat patch. All right, I'm going to read guard stuff here before I get too sidetracked. He says, to be honest, all the people glazing Ukraine right now because they beat us in a military exercise is getting more annoying than all the people trying to flex and say that half of NATO's military is stronger. Bullshit. I've actually trained with those guys. It is sad. Okay. Very few of those guys could actually face us. Okay. And nothing against their training. It's the fact that they don't get a chance to do as many live fires as we do. And the fact that they're like the Lithuanians, when I went with them, their little tracked vehicle, that thing was almost spooky how fast it was. Carried missiles on the back, had a heavy machine gun on the held up on the turret. But my God, that thing could book. By the time you heard it, it's already in your face. Still, are they going to be able to take care of us? No, because we're going to set up a 50 cal and just shred the goddamn thing. I mean, we're not going to get through the armor with a 50, but we're going to fuck up the mechanical pieces. We're probably going to take out the tracks. We'll take out the gunner because that's what we're good at. Us infantry guys are very good at taking out armor because we have to be. But I train with those. I mean, they're on the ground, on their feet. They're quite good. It's just too many of their chain of command don't understand where the strengths lie. All right. Guard was continuing and says, he goes, like, I'm sorry. There are way too many people that generally don't understand. You're right. Just how pathetic NATO's militaries are by themselves and how many countries he would actually, or that would take to beat us. That is actually true. And the fact that anywhere near a shoreline, we got them because the U.S. Navy are some badass motherfuckers. Okay, straight up, just badass motherfuckers. They will shred anything on a shoreline and towards the inside to about 25 miles. So that limits your ability to bring in supplies. And then you have guys like me who just love sneaking through the woods, sneaking up on you and doing, well, let's just say not nice things. I mean, it's what we do. Don't get me wrong. We would have a hell of a time for certain areas. If we had to go against those fucking Polacks, we'd be in trouble. Oh, shit. Those guys know what they're doing. Like I said, I dealt with the Lithuanians, the Estonians, and all them. And, well, not really the Latvians too much. I think I saw them there. We didn't actually deal with them so much. But, you know, they knew their shit. When it came to what they knew, they definitely knew what their stuff was. I will say this, though, Guard. I don't know if you've ever been around the German machinery. Okay? Their version of basically a Striker, I think it's a 6-wheel vehicle. That thing is so fucking quiet. It puts ours to fucking shame. Seriously, it puts ours to shame. When you turn on a Striker, people can hear you for 5 miles in every direction. The only reason I knew that there was one of those German wheeled vehicles anywhere was the fact that I was hearing breaking branches and a lot of them. And I was the observer controller. You know, it was my job to go out there and just monitor these folks. And it was spooky. So, yeah, like the Leopard 2, I mean, nasty piece of machinery. Very, very nasty. Won't last too long against drones, but still a nasty piece of machinery. So, again, I'm not saying you're wrong, Guard. You are right. We would fold them like a bad suit. But I do know certain groups that would give us the devil's own task taking them down. All right, before I go too far, I'm going to actually play another video real quick. And I believe this one was the get back here, motherfucker, so I can shoot you. That's what the warbirds can do. If you know how to fly one of those things, it's actually impressive what you can pull off. Okay, if I was wearing a hat, I would hats off to some of those pilots. They know their shit. I mean, they seriously do. Unfortunately, too many pilots, they rely too much on beyond line of sight warfare. All right, we got War Sniper up here. He says it was U.S. versus Ukraine drone and the. Hold on. Whatever. And the U.S. got stomped, and they got stomped the U.S. Faster to the ground than they could respond in the exercise, making the exercise people stop and restart the exercise. Yeah. It's again, our guys are not trained in drone warfare. When I got a hold of a Raven, I showed people how the Raven works and showed them how to beat the Raven. And the Raven was not a munition carrier at all. It's a way of spotting people. It's a battery powered friggin' RC plane. It is not anything super special, but you still got to know how to beat it. And I used to drive the drone guys absolutely nuts because we would actually have the tarps strapped to our backs with the Mylar inside, and you would just hear drone cover, and we just reach up, grab it, pull it over our heads, and we just curl up in a little ball, and we would wait. You wait about 5 minutes. You wait till you don't hear that motor anymore, and then you count another like 3 minutes. And then one person looks up, uncovers, looks up. You see anything? Not yet. And then you got to wait another couple minutes because you'll hear them if they come back. If they come back, you've been spotted. And it's time to cover up again. Just disappear. They know you're in the area, but they can't see you after that. What? You know, a lot of people didn't train on that. I insisted on that with my guys, and because we were pissing off the drone pilot so much, I got in trouble because the drone pilot was a ranger. Shocker. Want to smell it? All right. But yeah, they have to learn. He continues with, and the few drone teams of Ukraine had to join the U.S. side to win a few times. Yeah. You're absolutely right, War Sniper. That's exactly what happened. And yeah, you're right. Ukraine was playing as Russia because they know how Russia works. Yeah. And this is why I keep saying too many people train for the previous war. You have to know how to do it that way, but you also have to train for the future, which is why, believe it or not, Battletech actually got ready for this because do you get to use in like Mecca Online? Can you use UAVs? Yes, but they're easily shot down. Everyone just blasts the goddamn things quick because there is no stealth rigged UAV because they send out a pulse anyway. The fact that they use a type of stealth system that means you need a line of sight to actually engage means that, yeah, the technology's got that far. If our tanks had a stealth system where you could not engage them until you got line of sight, which most of the time is true. However, some sensors can actually pick up the metal itself. So, you know, that's really how it comes down to. That's the end of like 4 shots. Okay. Guard says, I mean, I understand that, but now everybody and their mother is pretty much glazing. Ukraine is saying if they're stronger than the U.S., it's a training exercise. Yeah, hold on. It's a training exercise, numbnuts. Eventually, the U.S. will join it, which is true. They tried to give us some of the worst fucking drones you've ever seen. Ever. One was a little RC truck. I kid you not. Something you would think like somebody who went to Radio Shack back in the 80s, grabbed some equipment and cobbled this stupid things together, had a little camera that you elevated and brought down. And it's running on an Xbox controller. You're thinking, oh, okay, like an actual RC thing. The thing had like a 1.5-second delay on the actual control. So if you pushed it forward, you had to wait, and then it took off, and you couldn't even stop it in time. By the time you stopped it, it crashed into something. We couldn't use the fucking thing. It was a piece of shit. It's just, jeez. Anyways, Guards Up here says, just give a few more months or a year or so, and soon enough, the U.S. will be doing exactly what Ukraine is doing, which is mass assembly of drones. Yes, just like the sling blade. I think it's called a sling blade or a slingshot, something like that. It's a kamikaze drone, and it's got I think 3 miles radius once you fire it. And if somebody is only about a mile away, you just set. I've actually seen this thing work. The guy literally pulled it out, popped the friggin' little bipod legs out with one hand, put it down, set his little iPad or thing set up, pressed a couple buttons, and went doink on this clacker. He had to look away and shot out like a friggin' mortar. Well, it's up in the air. Picks up his iPad. He's going over. He's like, okay, they're over there. They're over there. And we're all watching. We're all trying to get a better view, like climbing over each other. Like, oh, man, I can barely see, but that's kind of cool, isn't it? And no joke, guys, all that stuff you see in the video games, that's exactly what it fucking looked like. I'm not kidding. The chubby, sparky guy, or the electric electron guy, he friggin' did a video on that. And yes, he is absolutely fucking right. That is exactly what it looks like. That's exactly how it handles. The only problem is, since it's radio controlled, they can be jammed. The problem with trying to jam it is once you hit the sprint system, whichever way it's pointing, it literally will burn its battery going straight. If it loses connection, it loses connection. Who gives a fuck? It's going to hit. It's going to hit something. And if you get a whole, say, you got a fire team is 4, a squad is 9, a platoon is 20, anywhere from 20 to 25. If they're all firing that, believe me, 25 of these, which all have the same concussive force of an M67 fragmentation grenade, someone's gonna die. Yeah, in bad ways, they're going to freaking get trashed. Okay. Guards looking to see how many we got here, and yeah, it's after he keeps blinking out, man. Guardian up here changing things with breakfast is whatever you have to break your fast, more or less, or you break fast and have something quick, which is exactly how they do over in Europe. Anybody who hasn't been there understand that your breakfast is usually going to be basically a bite of food and like their version of cafe, which is basically an espresso shot, and that's it. That's if you have that. Your lunch is going to be fucking huge, but you're breaking fast just to get something in your system for break fast or breakfast. And dinner, depending on where you are, dinner might be grandiose. All right. See, Guardian says, I've only read the manga Dance in the Vampire Bund. Okay, I think that's what it was. They made a very shit anime, and this is when they were fighting the censors, something fierce. And I forget who it was, but they were the biggest name. They probably still are the biggest name. And they would grab all the anime that were coming across, put it under their name, saying, oh, we'll distribute it in the U.S., and then they would change things. They're the same one. Now, you guys like One Piece. I don't like One Piece. But the guy who has a cigarette all the time, that's their one. They changed it to a fucking lollipop. I'm sitting there looking. I'm like, this ain't freaking Kojak, motherfucker. You don't want to sit there and go, who loves ya, baby? No. This guy is a hardcore killing machine. What the hell, man? It's just All right, there's Draven with, I'm with Dr. Cooper with my view on Crusher. So are you a Wesley Crusher as in crushing Wesley. Yeah, I don't know why it keeps freezing, guys. I really don't why. I don't know why. It might not be a very long stream tonight. Well, I mean, we've already gone for an hour and a half. War Sniper telling me about lag spikes, but that's it. Big shutter for a few seconds, but okay. Well, over here. So I don't know. And the thing is, Erica, it's happening to me. So it's got to be something in my program. It's not you guys. Guarantee it's not you guys. Although right now I'm having trouble reading because I just put like, I don't know, 7 or 8 shots from that glass into my system. And now my eyes are starting to blur. Okay. Draven down here saying, not the hands exactly, but I blasted my wrist bone more times than I care to admit. Yeah, I could see that, especially if you go snowboarding. You catch that front edge. A lot of people want to put your hands out, and no, you got to crunch into a fist because hands out, you're going to break your wrist. Guardian up here, cloudy with a chance of heat. And there's Skip with his super chat he sent in earlier. Let's see. Guard says, the duality of the mental challenging on War Thunder. Oh, the duality of the mentally challenged. Okay. The thing is, when it comes to a lot of these, you just have to, as the man says, stay on target. And just try to focus on, and that actually one of the greatest aerial aces of all time, and I'm trying to remember his name. He was in, I believe, the Pacific Theater, and he said, whenever you engage on a target, you do not let him go until he's dead. You keep going, you keep at him until you run out of ammo or he's dead. And more often than not, our guys didn't run out of ammo because they held a lot more ammo than the zeros. They could also take more hits than the zeros. Guard also says, I play America. Nobody plays the T-32 heavy tank. I play any other country, and all I do is run into T-32 heavy tanks. Huh. Interesting. Oh, guys. Oh, man, now I need another beverage because this is freaking awesome. Okay. Rage is here. And he says, hey, Sin, just wanted to report officially cancer-free. Yes. Everything is good. The world can be at peace now. And that's good, Rage. That's very good. Even Draven's giving you a huzzah. Oh, Guardian, are you actually going to try to get me to sing that? But you're going to have to wait because we have not only a $2 super chat from somebody who I swear loves his Prozac and pancakes. And he says, I'm curious what you thought about the story I sent. Dude, I haven't had a chance to read it. Sorry. Pure and simple, just with everything going on and with the second channel, just haven't had a chance to go over it. I'm going to write a big note here. Actually, I'm going to write it a few times to actually print the fucker out. So it's right in front of me. All right. I'm looking forward to it because you make some funny stuff that makes me even cringe. And I also, damn, do I have a button for you, man? Oh shit, do I have a button for you? I don't think I do. I must be.
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
And I also got to go down to a $20 super chat from Skip.
All hands to battle stations.
Incoming. And let me right here. It says, Sin, I have worked with the Coast Guard and was impressed. Good. I've worked with the Marine Corps and don't want to talk about it. I worked with the Air Force and they don't want to talk about it. Oh, and they don't want to talk about it. That's like whenever I worked with, I've told you guys that before. There's very few units that actually impress me. Most of them don't. Officially exist on this. And I don't even mean Green Berets or Marine Recon or any of that stuff. Those guys, they're just full of themselves. None worse than the SEALs, though. Holy jumping Jehoshaphat's, none worse than the SEALs. What is it with those guys? I don't understand. It's like everybody else is like a brand new trainee in their eyes. I mean, when I was working with them, I'm like, dude, I've been deployed multiple times. I've probably seen just as many firefights as you. You going to actually give us a little bit of respect? You haven't earned it yet. You haven't gone through Bloods. I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Ugh. Anyway, don't get me wrong. Bloods is tough. Some of the strongest guys I've ever seen have tried for that and either come back broken physically or broken mentally. That shit's no fucking joke. So my respect to anybody who gets through that. I couldn't because I get a little nervous. I can swim. I just get nervous in the water. I've been mentally fucked around on that one. So, yeah, I can see why the chair force doesn't want to talk about it. And the Marines trying to do a splash off or something probably screwed things up. Did they sink one of their amphibious tracks? I wonder. Thank you for that one, Skip. And he has another $10. Hold on. Super chat. He says, but I've never worked with the Army, so please tell me more. Now, when it comes to the, well, you know what? I'll leave that on for a second. Now, I will say this about the difference, especially when it comes to mentality between the different branches. And this is what I got from a guy who spent over 10 years in the Navy, and he left for about a decade, and he came back and ended up joining the infantry. I served with him. And we would ask him about the Navy all the time. And dude was really smart, lanky motherfucker. Holy shit, was he a lanky motherfucker. And not nearly as strong as he needed to be. Well, let me phrase that. He was as strong as he needed to be, not as strong as we would have liked him to be. But again, unbelievably intelligent guy. And one of the things he told us about the difference between the Navy and the Army is in the Navy, you work for the officers. You do everything to make them look good. If that means you work extra long, if that means you end up putting yourself in the infirmary because you've worked for 3 days solid, then that's what you do. You do everything for the officers. When you're in the Army, it's the other way around. Your leadership should be doing everything for you because they expect almost impossible from you. Okay, to put in perspective, you guys all remember Starship Troopers. And after the first day with Ratchek there, he says, I expect the best and I give the best. And he pulled out the beer. Now, I never actually pulled out the beer, but when my guys reached a certain level in the PT test, the ACFT, or the APFT, sorry, Army Physical Fitness Test, I actually bought them all sodas and pizza as a, hey, it's Friday. You guys kicked ass out there. Here you go. And that was out of my wallet. It wasn't out of the Army's wallet. It was my squad, and they kicked ass out there. They got the highest overall score, combined score for squads, which pissed the Ranger off something fierce. He tried to smoke my guys, and we ended up screaming at each other, and I told him to get out of my face, Buck Sergeant. Anyway, not only that, hold on. I'm about to say this magic word. But in one case, we'd been out in the field for probably over a week. I don't even know how long. We're on a flight line waiting for a bird to come in, and I just hear my name called. I'm like, "Coming, Sergeant." And I get up and I run to him. It's like, "Yes, Sergeant, you called for me." And there's my platoon sergeant. He goes, "When's the last time you fucking ate something?" What day is it, Sergeant? "You will sit down and consume an entire MRE." "Sergeant, none of us have MREs." "What?" "We're out. I gave all my food to my men. I'm not going to let them suffer." "Well, we'll find you one. Go sit down." Roger. And yeah, they did find me one, had me eat one. I was feeling like shit for a couple of hours, but whatever. But that's the difference. You know, the Army, especially in the infantry, you look after your lower enlisted guys. If you ever see somebody of a higher position, not necessarily higher rank, but higher position in front of you in like the chow line or anything like that, then you got a bad one. So anyways, that's the best I'm going to talk about that. And of course, he gives a $5 super chat as he says, "Cancer free. Yes." And do I have anything good for that? God damn, I don't have anything good for that so much. Fuck. Well, I guess if you're cancer free and we want to end you, I guess you can go
To death! My snoo snoo!
All right. Let me double check something here. All right. I'm going to scroll up and see where I was. I kind of got down on a rabbit hole there. Yeah. Don't tug on Superman's cape. Don't spit into the wind. Don't poke your mask, or don't pull the mask off the Lone Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Jim. Okay. It's either Slim or Jim, depends on what part of the song you're at, because one of them ends up dead at the end. A lot of people don't realize that. They literally get in a knife fight and one of them bleeds out right there when they say the only thing not covered in blood was the sole of the man's shoes. Let's see. Lena says, "Hello, sorry, I was being busy with trying to access my Samsung and my eBay settings, trying to figure out what was wrong with. I've seen many videos about Russian and Ukraine drones bomb each other. Yeah. Oh yeah. It gets nasty. A lot of the tankers, yeah, of course, what I like to call tread heads. They hate it when I call them that because they call, and then they're like, 'Shut up, Crunchy.' I'm like, 'Hey, tit for tat, bastard.' They're like, 'Well, yeah, but I still don't call us tread heads.' I'm like, 'Yeah, shut up and climb back in your 67-ton piece of target.' 'It's not a target.' I'm like, 'It is for me.' Anyway, Chris is up here. What they don't realize about Ukraine beating us is we would own the sky, neutering those drones quick. This is why the rash of anti-drone weapon systems that came out, they did not deploy certain ones because they're considered too precious at this point. They're still in the testing phase. However, most of the anti-drone weapons do work. The major problem is like the handheld one that looks like this funky super alien weapon that you actually shoulder up and shoot. The amount of radiation that comes off that thing is actually staggering. I mean, quite literally will make you stagger. So, yeah. Alan says, the U.S. military is too brass heavy and too little actual field time for the brass. Yeah. And by that, brass up the ass is officers, which is true. I mean, that I could tell that was like towards the end of my time in the infantry, and they were going to start sending me to do paperwork when that lieutenant, fresh out of West Point, decided to tear my career apart and actually sign a GOMAR with the commander's signature, by the way. And I mean the brigade commander's signature. It's a fraud. So, yeah. Thank you, Lieutenant Pickett. I hope you have something stuck in your ass besides your head. Fucking asshole. Ugh. And yes, that was his. I don't mind calling him out. The motherfucker, we actually checked. He had a brain damaged skull. Somehow he still managed to get through West Point, but he was one of the worst lieutenants. I can't say he was the worst, but he was one of the worst officers I've ever known in my fucking life. This guy, more than once, and I still knew people in his platoon, sent them out in patrols in areas they knew there was landmines. And they were told specifically, don't go there. I don't care. You'll follow my orders. Fuck you. I hope somebody fragged you by dropping a grenade down your shorts and pulling the pin. I would say it blew your balls off, but he ain't got none. Always hid behind his fucking rank. Anyways, Lena's up here says, I thought that USS Abraham Lincoln was going to become a pirate ship sooner than later. I got nothing on that. I really don't know that. There's Deathbed with the actual name, the Switchblade. Okay, I said it right the first time. That's the kamikaze drone. And honestly, whoever thought up the dash feature is a fucking genius, because they realize once you get too close, they're going to lose connection. Switchblade, since Ukraine claimed it was their new wonder weapon. Yeah. The thing is, if you know how to modify a civilian drone, you don't need that. And, oh, shoot, I forgot to take that off of there. But yeah, you can actually get something a lot, or build something a lot stronger and more maneuverable than a Switchblade. A Switchblade is good because it's small, it's compact, it's light, which us infantry guys really like, and the fact that you can send up multiple of them and they're not going to cross the frequencies. Don't cross the stream, guys. Don't cross the streams. And oh, look who's here. We got a $5 super chat from Joseph Blush. Let me write this down. And he says, pirate ship story. Sounds good. Somebody's going to pirate and they're going to want some booty. Although they're also going to be drinking some rum, right? A lot of rum. Actually, there is no rum in that. I checked. Rum I consider my mistress. It's the one I used to love to fuck with, but she would screw me over every single time. The next day, I'm just done. I'm literally just laying there going, leave me alone. Let's see. Lena says, would One Piece still have a cigarette scene because anime can do PG-16 animation? It's just can't show nudity, which I don't understand that one. It's a part of the human body. If it's done in a sexual manner, that's different. Just like there's a streaming or a different type of channel like called MGTOW TV. They were catching a lot of crap from the SEC because they had no limit on what you could put in the chat box as far as pictures go. And a lot of people were putting actually explicit, intimate pictures on there. So there was a big to-do. I was actually in the chat box with everybody. And I was like, guys, you can still put nakedness on there because there is nothing actually inadvertently sexual about the human body. If there was, every time nudists were around, somebody would be on top of them. Okay, it's just it's just no. Okay. Now, as far as showing the cigarette because of PG-16, I ain't got the slightest fucking idea, man. I do not have any idea. And there's everybody congratulating on cancer-free. Yes, yes, yes. And all right. Erica's up here. She says, Air Force in a nutshell. Is it confidential, secret, top secret? If not, it's still need to know. Everybody else, dude, A 10-second Google search has it. Yeah. Actually, even the secret and top secret, it's still one search away. Whenever I worked with the Air Force folks, they would look at you and immediately start analyzing your rank, trying to figure out if they were above your rank, even by one, even by a fucking day. They treated you like the lowest private. I seen one of their versions of lieutenants, and I say that one of their versions of lieutenants looked at a platoon sergeant and literally said, "You don't know anything, Sergeant. You don't tell me anything. You don't give me orders. You don't adjust anything. You don't add anything to this AR. You don't do anything." And I'm sitting there like, okay, I hope everybody's got their chips ready because the platoon sergeant's about to beat this guy's ass. And it was kind of funny to watch this Air Force guy end up on his back when the platoon sergeant literally shoved him up, got him right underneath the rib cage. Back he went, and he goes, "Don't you ever address me like that ever again." It's like, okay. It's a different mentality. And it's just the way that is. And the lieutenant, by the way, it was on a flight line, and that lieutenant, I don't know what the hell the lieutenant's problem was. I don't even know if he was on or supposed to be on that bird. All I know is he was just screaming at the platoon sergeant for no reason. All right. Lena says the last episode of Tanya the Evil anime was peak. The general from the capital was sent to the front, and he was very chill about when he was fighting with his soldiers. Very chill. He's as cold as ice. And yep, a little more congratulations. And Tekkaman saying, "I'll take death by snoo. You want to die like last men that visit Amazonia?" That's still like one of the only good episodes I've ever seen of that show. Every time somebody says, "Oh yeah, you got to watch this show," it is so fucking depressing, at least to me, because I understand time, which is why I drink, so I can forget for at least a little while. Anyways, that's why if I see another internet meme come up that says, "You just woke up and it's 1983. What's the first thing you do?" My response is always the same. You mean when I'm done screaming and having a complete panic attack? You know, granted, I would be around 3 years old, maybe 4, depending on what time of year it was. And it's just crazy. So yeah, they would just think I had a bad dream. Of course, I'd want to go hug my mom. Duh. Let's see. Worst number says, "I never had someone on top of me." Or should I say, Lena says, "Anime would still show the sunlight beam to hide the nudity of a female character's nudity." He said nudity twice. I mean, you like nudity, right? "I have seen it in episode of Chainsmoker Cat." Actually, you said it, and I had these sitting around. So, yeah, Chainsmoker Cat. Yeah, why not? Maybe I should get a light for this. You guys just like that Chainsmoker Cat. I haven't seen it yet. Again, I haven't seen many of it. The closest I get is I end up looking at all the thumbnails on YouTube, and I get to see a few of those, and I'm just like, okay, they got this one. It sounds okay. This one sounds dumb. There's the one that was it? He's the second prince, and nobody knows that he's a triple, quintuple S rank adventurer. I'm like, guys, I read the manga. I was so bored, I fell asleep. Do you have any idea how boring a manga has to be for you to fall asleep holding the motherfucker? Pretty goddamn boring, I'll tell you that. It's crazy. Now, according to what a lot of people are saying, Chainsmoker Cat is pretty good. Haven't seen it. Can't comment. I'm just saying what you guys have been saying, along with what a few other folks have been saying. But I'll reserve everything until I get a chance to actually see it. I don't want to say too much. Let's see. Chris says, I've seen nudists. Most of them are a... okay, hold on. My shit jumped here. Most of them are a don't walk, run like hell away from it. Okay. Joseph with nudists are a strange group. The one artist lady made picture books of her kids from birth to their late teens and was given awards. Okay, that lady needs to be arrested. That's messed up. Okay. I'm sure in her eyes it was completely innocent. The fact of the matter, a lot of people are not going to look at it as innocent. And because the world we live in, yeah, you guys know where I'm going with this. You know, and anyway, yeah, I've actually known nudists too. The majority of the ones I've known are what's known as a house nudist. Like they'll go into if they have an apartment or a house and they just start stripping clothes. Makes things very uncomfortable, like extremely so sometimes. However, I will say this, when you're actually dating somebody and they turn out to be a house nudist, you kind of get a cross signal on that. I've almost been punched in the face because I was like, wait a minute, that's not why you're, she says, no, I just feel free this way. I'm like, you could have fucking warned me. But then again, most of them don't. They just think it's normal. I've actually known a couple, he was white, she was Asian, and she actually was saying how her family was like, oh, we don't see a problem with this because they go to the mixed hot springs all the time. You know, for them, whatever, it's flesh, it's skin. It's a couple of bumps. That's all they really say. And of course, War Sniper's up there going, it feels like freedom. He's not wrong. And of course, he's like, Sin, don't smoke. It's bad for you. You don't like me smoking? Okay. All right. I'm not smoking. In case you were wondering, candy cigarettes. The only place I find them is Spencer's, which is where well, not this shirt, but I found the other shirts there. All right. He also says, we need to reach regeneration. I'm sure it's possible now. I personally believe that we have the technology. We've had the technology since probably the late 1980s. The problem is they don't want people to have regeneration because they want to sell us prosthetics and pain meds and a bunch of other bullshit. When in actuality, once regeneration is allowed to the general public and people like my cousin can grow his fucking hand back, you know who's going to be making the money after that? Physical therapists. There's going to be such a need for physical therapists. It is actually staggering. And for people like me who actually are able to train people from zero correctly, you know, most anybody who got into the, say, E6, E7 area, we know how to do it. It's not hard. You just have to bring people up from zero. So, yeah. Anyway, sorry, guys. I just had another burst of my apple juice and soda go through my head. Now, I will say this on Get Some Yes, everybody has the ability to regenerate, but there are limits, which is why he had a healing unit, or Jacob did, which was the base layer of his suit. However, the way it looked was very suggestive. I'm just going to put this picture up there to be as close as I could, because the way it was set up is it strapped around his body in, how do I put this? Think Fifth Element, but thinner straps, and they're only about maybe 1.5 inches wide, separated by another 1.5 inches. And they go up, they start around the neck, and they just kind of go down the body and down the arms. And they're separated so the skin can actually breathe. That's why it does that. The healing unit is there to make the regeneration focus on certain areas first. That was the point of the healing unit. However, just left alone, provided his wounds weren't that severe, he would have been able to regenerate on his own. That being said, I will say, given the concussive force that Jacob had to face, he needed the healing unit. He wouldn't have made it. He would have died in transit for sure. His body wouldn't have fixed the right things first. Chris says, oh, hold on. Where we wouldn't wear rank and insignias, our Air Force captain didn't understand that when us lowly enlisted were calling out our LT was the same rank as him at 03. That got funny fat. I would say so. Now, here's a fun one for you guys, and you guys can actually play this on kids because they won't know military rank just yet. And I did this a lot for my future soldiers when I was a recruiter. I said, who has the highest rank? Private Pile, Captain Hook, Sergeant Slaughter, or Colonel Mustard? And they would all think about it and go, Colonel Mustard. That was obviously what a lot of you were thinking. That's not true. The captain of a ship that's not captain rank. That's captain position. Okay. The captain of the ship is usually something like a lieutenant colonel or a full bird colonel or something like that. Okay. They're usually above the actual Colonel Mustard. Okay? And that's just the way it is, because the captain has a higher position, or the captain of the ship. And being that he is actually Captain Hook, he is actually captain of the ship. That's how it goes. So that's a good way to get the kids to understand. Anyways, over here, Lena says, I would probably recommend watching Trapped in an Otome game anime in Japanese because I don't like the English dub. I am going to say this. I have been waiting for the moment that the brother and sister in that anime realized that they were both isekai'd, because I wanted to see the reaction. And I finally, just a couple days ago, because I mentioned that, somebody sent it to me. And they're like, here you go. You got to wait till the end, but watch the whole thing. It's like a maybe 3-minute video of them going back and forth, saying how their brother this, their sister that, complaining about in their previous life how each other was better or worse or whatever. And then they realize, and she's like, big brother, and he just clocks her across the face. Now, in the novel, he actually does clock her across the face. Unfortunately, because it's an anime, he whacks her with a fan. But I'm like, no. She's the reason he died early. Okay. It just, and apparently she was a total, words. I'm not sure. She was a squunt. Okay. In her previous life. And she's a squunt in this one too. So it is what it is. But yes, just payback on that one. But the thing is, I can't sit and watch the whole thing. I don't even know. That's only like halfway through the second season, I'm pretty sure, when that happened, because that was pretty. I'm trying to remember which book that was on. It was so long ago, I can't remember. Whatever. I can't even sit there and read manga anymore, which is a shame. All right, Erica, looking at the candy cigarette thing, better be wacky tobacco. That will not be allowed in my house. I've even had words with my nephew. I said, I don't care if people smoke that around you. You do not bring that shit in this house. You bring that shit in this house, you're going to find a new place to fucking live. That's what you're going to find. That's what you're going to have to do. I'm not playing that fucking game. He wants to be a druggie and saying it's not gay, but $20 is $20. That's his own deal, but he's going to stay the fuck away from everything around here with that. All right. And by the way, if you guys are partaking, I really don't care. The reason I'm uppity about my nephew is because he's my freaking nephew. And I'm sure you guys can understand that. All right, Lena says, I know several perverted scenes in Chainsmoker cat anime. I laughed a few times when watching the last week episode. Now I want to watch it. But then again, I'm not really into the anthropomorphic cats, so whatever. War Sniper, of course, forgot to do this. It says, I've been a nudist from birth year. I went to a nudist camp. It felt like freedom. And the moment I have clothes on, I feel trapped, and also found my 12-year-long crush on the camping. At least I know what I like. Yeah. Honestly, I've gone to one. I honestly, once you get past that hump, that hang up, and realize that nobody cares, that's what matters. All right. And yeah, it was kind of a summer camp type of thing. I was only there for a weekend. I rented out a little bungalow place, and yeah. I mean, granted, a lot of couples that were there were renting out the bungalows basically as fuck huts. But they kept that shit out of the public eye, mainly because there were kids around, okay? Kids didn't need to see that. Kids didn't need to know what that was, especially when you're that young. I will say this, though. When I was in the service, I'm not going to say what post I was at because I don't want to call them out. One of the guys I knew, now I met his kids when they were really, really young, and I saw them again years later when they were about to, let's see, the son was about to graduate high school, I think. And one of the daughters was like a sophomore or something like that. Anyway, these kids were incredibly well-rounded. Like, seriously, just well-rounded as fuck. And fairly smart. I won't say they're geniuses. I will say this, though, when it came to the fact that, like, you know, you got a bunch of burly guys walking around, nobody cared. And I was like, oh, you guys aren't even flinching. What's going on there? And they told me that his wife, who is European, they will go back to her home country for vacation once a year. And it's like 5 days or something. And it was one of these naturalist facilities. So the kids got used to it. And it wasn't a big deal. They're like, okay, so the fuck what? It's flesh. So what? Is it nice to look at? Sure, but it's just flesh. So what? So again, it made them well-rounded. Trying to hide it from kids is what makes them drawn to it. Just like cigarettes and pot and everything else. Now, I will say this. I agree that putting layers on afterwards is a little restricting. Not nearly as bad as spending over a year and a half in baggy uniforms and then having to put on actual civilian attire. This looks loose. This is actually tight on me compared to what the uniform was. The uniform is loose for a reason. So yeah, putting that stuff on, you're like, did I just put a wetsuit on? What the fuck? Anyway, that's enough on that. A Guardian laughing about the candy cigarettes. And yeah, Erica said, I love those as a kid. Again, guys, find dispensers. They have them. They're right there at the register. And yeah, I actually got a couple of boxes. So, and they don't exactly go stale all that easy. So, Spencer's, you don't say. Yeah, I actually went and got a funny joke gift for a friend of mine who's, well, I sent it to him. He was going through a divorce. I said, here, use this because you won't have your wife around. He said, you're lucky you're not around when I opened that. I go, why? He goes, because I would have hit you with it. And I was like, please tell me you would have hit me with it before you used it. The man hadn't laughed so hard in probably a few months, I should say. War Sniper's like, I was like, what the fuck? When I say you eat that cigarette. Yeah, well, the thing is, I kept moving it around because I didn't want anybody to realize the damn thing wasn't lit. So yeah. And by the way, Erica, Spencer's, I do say. It's over here in our mall. Lena says, I think you are not ready for this. Scientists scanned the brain of the fly and put it in the computer simulation. That fly already knew what to do because it started flying and looking for food. I thought that guy who is oh yeah, okay, yeah. I'm not surprised. If it's a viable brain, it's going to do what that is going to do. It's basically a zombie. It's a zombie fly. Great. Patient 0. Zombie fly. Okay, Leonard also says, I thought that guy who was trapped in the Atome game was dead because he forgot to eat food and he fell down through the... He did, but the premise of it was he was going to let me phrase this right. He was forced to stay home. He couldn't go on a trip to the United States that he wanted to go on. His sister, being the total squunt that she is, said, no, I want to actually see all the cinematics of this game and hear the ending tones and all this other stuff, but I won't see that unless somebody beats the game, and I don't want to sit here and beat the whole thing. So she forced her brother to stay home and play the game, and then she's like, oh, you need to do this or I'll tell mom and dad about you know what. To this day, nobody knows what the fuck she was talking about. Maybe it's his friggin' spank material. I don't fucking know, and I don't fucking care. All I know is you're right. He didn't eat any food. He didn't go to the bathroom. He didn't do anything for days. And when he got up, the lack of oxygenated blood in his legs started flowing through his body. And before his lungs and heart could compensate, he lost consciousness, fell down the stairs, most likely dying from a subdermal hematoma, which is bleeding on the brain. He died slow out there. He died painful. He died sad. That was just bad. So yeah, she was that smack across her jaw was nothing compared to what she deserved. Erica says, I love when that see you next Tuesday. You mean the can't understand normal thinker gets theirs. Yes, that's always a fun time. Always a fun time. Just like now, I'm actually I can't find the video for this, guys. I wish I could and put it on here, but again, YouTube would kill me if I did. I tried to save the video. My mistake. I clicked off it and I couldn't find it again before my computer reset itself. So I'm actually sending the description of this to Gruntspeak to make one of the guys cringe. And this is a complete can't understand normal thinker. Picture, if you will, a world that is not beyond sight and sound because it's downtown in some American city. I know this because they're speaking American English. Two women think this is going to be a funny prank. Supposedly, they had succeeded on said funny prank before they had tried this. One holds the camera, aims it at some unsuspecting man who is looking the opposite direction of woman number 2. She runs up, and as hard as she can, she kicks him right in the nuts and then laughs as they run away. Now, granted, this by itself is assault. Actually, one could be considered assault with intent depending on the type of footwear. If she was wearing something that was like spiky heels or steel-toed boots, then absolutely this would be intent to injure, if not intent to kill. Well, she comes up, she waylays this guy's happy sack, but instead of just groaning and dropping to his knees, he slams his leg shut, reaches down, grabs her foot in one motion. I mean, it's just quick. It's like half a second. She's there trying to pull her leg out, like bouncing up and down like Deadpool after he tried to kick Colossus in the face, saying, "'Tis but a scratch." It's like, no. And he actually has his hand on her foot, turns and looks at her, sees who it is, positions a hand on the toe, on the heel, and snap. And you just hear a crunch. And of course, down that one goes who kicked him, and the other one just comes up screaming, "It was a prank, it was a prank, oh my God." And that's where the video ends. And the thing is, we got a chance to practice this move. You can't do it on another person, because when you start feeling the pain, not hearing the crunch, start feeling that sharp pain, you're already causing damage that might be irreversible. So knee locks and ankle locks are not allowed during training. However, you can do them on training dummies, which is done all the time. This guy knew exactly what he was doing. And I'll let you know, when that ankle went, I guarantee the knee probably went with it. There's probably an 80% chance that the knee went with the ankle. Either way, she's going to be walking funny for the rest of her life, and it's not because she's going to be taking anything up anywhere. So, yeah, be careful who you prank. And that's a complete can't understand normal thinking, because you hit a man there, and the whole idea of chivalry is not even there. There's not even parlay. They're going to end you. So anyways, let me get back in here because I am down the rabbit hole. Oh shit, I'm falling down the rabbit hole. Okay. Lena says, I have seen Chainsmoker Cat going to the part-time job, and then she created an explosion during the smoking break. Was it the fun type of explosion?
Swing!
He continues with, I have assumed that this must be a Tomei game. I have assumed that his sister never heard from him about how he played the game. Hold on. He said the magic word. But I remember how he bought pay-to-play material and knows where his mecha was with the Guilty Spark assistant. That's actually a good one, Guilty Spark. That's true. A lot of people made fun of that. It's Lex Luthor, basically, a mechanical Lex Luthor. And yeah, it's just you're not wrong. That's what happened. He realized that everything was messed up, and you could only beat the game if you actually went and purchased the overpowered, like super. If you watch close, you can see there was options. He bought the strongest thing there, which is why at the end of the first season, he actually used the main ship as a space-based weapon system and just fucked everybody up. But yeah, you're right. She actually, until that moment, she didn't even realize it was him. And all she did was watch a few of the small cinematics, and she tried to play the game in real life, knowing barely anything. So apparently she freaks out and all sorts of weird stuff. All right. Leonid also says, yeah, I'm going to mispronounce this. Yanni Nico mom is a very chill chain smoker cat. She wants to smoke cigarettes like her daughter. Okay. Again, I haven't seen Chainsmoker Cat. I got no anything on that. So, looks like we're towards the bottom. I actually ran out of videos here, so I'm just going to replay this one here where the Warbird from World War II You notice actually on this one, it takes all 4 of his missiles to take this fucker down. Yep, took all 4. All right, Lena's already back with, she created a literal explosion that blew up the entire place. Well, he assumes. She just went for a cigarette during the smoke break. I'd assume she went for a cigarette on a smoke break. He also says, I also watched the new episodes of Tanya the Evil. It was pretty good so far. Yeah, when you want to root for the bad guy or girl or however that works. Now, here's the fun part. And you guys heard me say this before. A lot of the anime, a lot of the stories and stuff like that, especially nowadays, they're trying to rip off anything that has any good traction. Tanya the Evil, because it was a man reborn into a little girl's body, a lot of the animes that came out in the past, I don't know, 6 months, a lot of them are an old man dies and reborn as a woman, or a guy dies and comes back as his female avatar or something like that. I'm like, the fuck? Pure and simple. And it's like they're all trying to rip these off. Now, I can imagine what would happen if somebody died, they were female, and then all of a sudden they wake up, they're a boy, and they're like, oh my God, what do I do with this thing here? Ding, 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 ding. You know, what do I do with it? Do I spank it to make it go down? Or do you beat it? Oh no, I'm encouraging it. What the fuck? Yeah. So anyway, we've been going for about 2.5 hours, guys. I am down to the bottom of the, okay, Lena jumping in here says, that was the idea first, but today, I probably think that Tanya is 100% female character. Yeah, most people look at it that way. Wait until she gets to the point where she's in puberty and everybody wants her to actually reproduce to try and make another protege like her, which, given the time period, is considered normal. Watch how he tries to bring his brain around that one. However, I don't think the anime is going to go into that. Either they're going to kill her off while she's still young, or the series isn't going to get that far. That's just the way I see it. Anyway, guys, I'm going to put the banner up here. Don't forget to make sure you guys are still subscribed, because, yeah. Now, the membership should keep you guys up and running. However, if something is wrong, please, 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 please let me know. Okay, very important, so I can fucking fix it. If that means I got to call YouTube and tell them to stop being bitches, that's what I'll do. Now, like I said, as soon as we're done here, I'm going to take my very long checklist of all the names for tonight, and I'm going to finish up the video and make sure. That's a spoiler, Leonid. We don't do spoilers here. Anyways, I'm going to do this at the end of the video is already recorded. I was just waiting to do this section, and I will get it posted probably, well, hopefully before 10 o'clock Eastern Standard. And if you guys, again, do not get it before midnight Eastern Standard Time, you got to let me know, because there's something wrong. I specifically set it up so members get it first. So on that note, you guys know your safety on the briefing. If you drink, you don't drive. If you drive, you don't drink. If your buddy wants to drink and drive, beat their ass. If you have to, kick them in the groin. A couple times. If you have, do do whatever you have to make sure they don't drink and drive. You're a better friend by telling them, hey, fucker, you fell, than anything else. Also, if your little soldier is going in the bush, make sure he wears his poncho. It gets wet in the bush, at least if you know what you're doing. And also, if you guys are going to partake in any of the recreational materials, please be fucking safe and stay away from the hard stuff. The last thing I need is you guys putting yourselves into a freaking coma over that or end up getting some bad shit with fentanyl mixed in it, because I want to see all of you guys right here next week on Syntext Live. Take care of yourselves, everybody. This is your host, and punching out. If I can get this to work.